What's up? Welcome to the In the Galaxy podcast. It's me, Michael G. Ilkison Gilkison, with my boy Jay Will.I.Ams. What's up, Jay?
What's up? I prefer if you didn't call me Jay Will.I.Ams anymore. Number one, because
you were not Will.I.Am.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'd like you to start calling me Jay Eddie Vedder, since I'm wearing this nice flannel shirt, rocking it like I'm from the 90s. I'm this bitch. So
it matches your Man U hat quite nicely.
Oh yeah. I bought this hat off eBay. Many migrant workers made this hat for me. Pay for it for like, I don't know, $8 or something like that.
Well, it's a good looking hat at least.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about something a little bit random for a second. I'm gonna catch you off guard.
Okay.
All right. So people, I don't know who watches this and who listens to it, but let's talk about, have we talked about our headphones?
No, we've never talked about our headphones.
Tell me what headphones you're using there.
I'm using
Beats by Jay?
No, I'm using Plantronics, actually. Not to be confused with Plant Chronic.
Okay, that's
Plantronics, yeah. Why is that weird? That's a good pun. Plant. Because chronic comes from plant, like the.
I guess so.
I just made it up on the spot, dude.
Yeah, I'm moving on. So those have a microphone built into them.
Yes.
It's not a gaming headset, is it?
No, I don't. I mean, it could be used for that. It's USB. It's definitely USB. Right. So.
See, I know people can't see this, but I've got these bad boys too. These are actually wireless gaming headphones because I'm a big old freaking nerd. They have this drop-down microphone on the side like yours does. So
yeah,
as a wireless receiver.
These bad
boys
cool.
were like $300. So
oh wow,
they sound incredible, and they're great for watching movies too, actually. But how's the sound quality coming out of those things?
Pretty good, I get some good bass out of it. I mean, it's not the best. It's not like, $300 headphone caliber for sure, but
yeah,
I enjoy these. I like the little helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
Little like thing here.
Yeah. I have to admit I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to headphones, and these bad boys that I'm wearing right now, they're actually studio quality headphones. But just did I record? I told the story.
Did I record with those? What story?
About me getting these?
I've never heard them. No, I've never heard that story.
Okay. So basically, one day I was just like, I had some money to spend, and I really wanted some new headphones, some over-the-ear headphones. And I wanted these one Skull Candy headphones, like really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I went to Best Buy to buy them, and they didn't have them. But I really just wanted to spend some money. Like I really was, I was like, for sure, I'm walking out of
money to blah.
I was just like, I'm sure I'm walking out or leaving Lexington with headphones. So I'm looking around. I'm looking at Beats by Dre. I'm pretty sure that that's what I'm going to get. And I listen to them, and they are – please nobody kill me for this. Mainly Dr. Dre. But Beats by Dre are really not very good headphones. They're not good. They're not that great. They're good for rap, but they're not good for other stuff. Like they're completely overtly bass driven. You have very low treble response, in my opinion, for some of the stuff that I've actually tried them out on. I just don't care for them at all, especially for the price. Especially for the price.
Well, I mean, let's be honest.
You're paying for a brand. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, let's be honest. People that are buying Beats by Dre headphones aren't like hardcore Nirvana fans. Like they're not buying them.
That's not true at all. I completely disagree with that.
I mean,
it's a brand. That's like saying
but he's a hip hop artist.
It doesn't matter, but everybody's wearing them. That's like saying, well, there's people Apple, it's only for video production and for graphic design. Well, that's bullshit because there's so many people that use.
I mean, it specializes in that though.
What does?
Like Max specializes in video editing, graphic design.
Well, Max.
I mean, not necessarily graphic design. Well, yeah.
I mean, they don't come preloaded with. They come preloaded with iMovie, but Windows comes preloaded with Windows, whatever that program is, but doesn't have Final Cut Pro on it.
Yeah, but but Final Cut Pro
in the Galaxy.
Final Cut Pro is a Mac design software. It's uniquely Mac because Adobe wouldn't design video editing software, so Apple got
But they
pissed.
do have it. They have
And
Avid. Isn't
and
Avid?
before Final Cut Pro went to 10,
No.
but Kevin Bacon was not in Footloose. But yeah, like Final Cut Pro went to X, and then a lot of people dropped it with an industry standard, so now it is Avid. But I don't know. I don't think that's fair comparison about because it's Beats by Dre. Dre is not a rock. He's not a rock genre. You don't buy Beats by Dre to be like, you know what? I really like Insane Clown Posse and
Well, Insane Clown Posse isn't a rock band; they're a hip hop band.
Yeah, but still, they're so shitty that they shouldn't count for anything.
Oh wow.
To me.
Definitely some emails on that one.
Well, yeah, we'll get some.
It's okay. Nobody's going to listen to this podcast because of the band that we're actually reviewing, but that's beside the point.
So Eminem is all like, he never thought he would become mainstream and famous. I figure I'm like the opposite of that. I think I'll be famous one day. But the reality is it's not going to happen. Like, nobody's going to listen, and it's not going to happen. So,
why is that? Why? How did this come up?
How did this come up?
I don't know. You just started talking about your deep, dark secrets about your.
Because Eminem and
afraid to. We're not talking about Eminem. That was last.
We were talking
podcast.
about Beats by Dre, and then that transition to rap music to Insane Clown Posse to Eminem.
Okay.
And then to my, not just a perspective type of thing of how I'm just like, well, yeah, I'll be famous one day, but yeah, probably not.
Yeah, Michael's psychology, or wait, no, what would this be? It would be, I forgot where this joke was going. I completely ruined it. Never mind.
Oh, I thought you were actually going to be like, no, Michael, it's okay. Just keep working hard, buddy. We'll get there one day.
You know, I think that.
I know.
You don't need me to tell you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. This is turning in. This is turning in to Michael's therapy session in the.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh my god!
I can see our first email right now. It's gonna say, "I really hope."
Fuck Michael Kilkison and Insane Clown Posse. I love Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so our second
headphones. How did headphones get me off to a therapy session?
I don't know. Why don't we talk about Kodaline?
Kodaline, yeah, please. Unless you want to talk about speakers next.
No. So I picked this album.
Kodaline in a perfect world. Yes.
I picked this album one because for a few reasons, but I picked it.
You like a dream come true.
Stop interrupting me with your stupid song impressions, Michael.
Stupid is as stupid does.
You're infuriating me.
It gets the people going.
Continue to infuriate me. That's okay.
Proceed.
So I picked this album number one because I literally could not think of what I wanted. What album I wanted to give or to Michael.
Do you even know what I'm listening to for next week?
Yes.
Okay.
But I just figured that out.
Okay. Fair enough.
But also because this album is very it's been very negatively reviewed by other people. And I wanted to give my spin on it. So I'll just get into it. So Kodaline, they're an Irish pop rock band, which pop rock band is really, I hate that term because really what it is it's a band playing instruments and music that's actually pop music. You know, the 1975 is a pop rock band. Mm-hmm. The Neighborhood is a pop rock band. Those are all very broad terms. Yes. I would put this in the realm because I don't think any of those three bands really sound like each other. I mean, you could say 1975 and The Neighborhood sounds similar, but Kodaline doesn't even sound anything like those other bands. So I would put them in more of the kind of almost like adult contemporary sort of realm. The best way I can describe it is like, you know, bands that like rock bands that you'll hear on top 40 type of radio, bands like the Fray, bands like One Republic or Coldplay or stuff like that. Just just a lot of pop hooks, a lot of sing-songy stuff. So but this band, more than anything, they completely fell under the radar. Like their CD came out last year.
Is this their first CD?
It is their first CD, but they've had some kind of general praise in building up to this CD. Not necessarily praise, but buzz about them. And I found out about them because I was watching the channel Palladia, which is a channel that just plays concerts. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's a really good channel. I actually don't have it anymore, but it's an awesome channel. Do you know
where that word comes from? There's a arena, or actually a venue in LA, the Palladium.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's where Richard Pryor did. Yeah, Richard Pryor did that there.
So
that's my frame of reference.
So there was they were playing a song, and I thought it was pretty catchy, so I downloaded this record. So, but one thing about, and I'm kind of getting into my album review now, but basically,
that's cool, brother. Take your time. I love you throwing this music on me. This music wisdom.
Here's my
Nostradamus.
Here's my big thing about this album and this band is that you almost see two different bands on the CD, in my opinion. There are first of all, there's a lot of piano. There's some light guitar work in it. There's some acoustic guitar. There's some harmonica stuff. But this band is pretty much fits in two of this kind of popular music genres. There's that whole piano rock / adult contemporary rock where they're just pretty much playing straight up poppy ballady songs, very straightforward. But then there's this whole other side, this whole other almost half of the record that's like these kind of folky songs, like Americana songs that are very, very folky, acoustic guitars and rhythms and shakers and harmonicas and the way that his melodies are. Basically, the only way I could describe it is if you were to think of bands like, the Avett Brothers or Mumford & Sons. They have songs like that, but then they also have songs that remind me of like the Fray and Coldplay and stuff like that. So it's really weird and it bothers me. So one of the reasons I think this band really fell under the radar and they haven't got a lot of attention, why I think personally they have gotten a lot of negativity towards their music, is because music, just like a lot of other things, it moves in trends. Michael, you're aware of this, I'm sure.
Yes.
In trends of what's popular. So and then when those trends, they blow up, they're really big, everybody likes this one type of music, and then it gets to a point where there's so much of it, it's completely oversaturated that people start hating it. They start hating and shitting on this type of music. The best way.
It's like how I feel about Mumford & Sons. A lot of people love Mumford & Sons. They're like, oh yeah, Mumford & Sons. That's cool. But I just can't stand them, and I can't stand anybody else that comes around after them that's just all like, we're going to be folksy. It's going to be cool to be folksy and guitar.
Yes.
Sorry. I just cannot stand Mumford & Sons, and that's my little Jay-Z Pharrell moment. Screw Mumford & Sons music.
Okay, I love Mumford & Sons. We might have to review them sometime and get deeper into them. Why do I like them? You should – okay, this is a side note. You should like them being a fan of literature because their music has a lot of literature references in it.
Yeah, okay. I'll give it a fair assessment. But
I've never seen you fight so hard. You just look so disappointed in this.
I just can't stand them. I don't know if it's them as much as them being overplayed. Okay. So you know how people are like, oh, okay, like Dave Matthews music, for example. It's not that Dave Matthews makes bad music. It's just the people that like Dave Matthews music just drive me nuts.
Right.
They're just like, oh, yeah, Dave Matthews. I'm just like, screw you guys. 100%. Screw you guys. But I do like Dave Matthews, some of his songs.
let's go back. Let's go back around real quick. Okay,
Yeah,
let's go
yeah, back to Mumford and Sons, back to Kodaline.
Well, back to something
Okay.
else. It's
Okay.
actually I'm making this point, and you're making this point, and I want to get somewhere in the middle here.
In the middle. Okay,
So
please.
there's one thing to say where yes, you're right that people. This is what I'm talking about. Actually, you're proving my point right now. You are saying
Great.
You're saying, and I'm this way too. When a genre or a approach or a style of music becomes so big and it becomes so oversaturated, there's so much of it, there's so many bands doing the same thing, there starts to become a hatred towards that stuff. What you're saying right now, it's like I can't stand that. There's so much of it. There's these people that represent this. It's just I do not like this. I'm not liking this at all. And the best way I can describe it is, let me go through some stuff with you. Grunge rock back in the 90s. It was great. There's this great boom, and then there started to be all these other bands that were copycatting them, and people were like, "Ugh, this is stupid. This is hokey." Boy bands. There was Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. People were into it. It was like, oh, this is good. Then you start getting people like LFO and BB Mac and stuff like that. And it's like, do you remember that? Do you remember?
Yeah.
It turned into, oh, this is really good stuff. But then there was so many of it, and people were so infatuated with it that people were making fun of it. They're like, ugh, you like boy band music? Oh my God, get out of here.
LFO, they're just like, well, let's try 3 guys instead of 5 boys and see what happens.
And then so you get, and then I'm not going to go through a bunch of stuff, but then you get then you get to new metal and stuff. People are like, oh, Korn, Limp Bizkit, and all that. Well, then once Drowning Pool comes out, you're like, ugh, I'm tired of this stuff. It's cheesy, terrible, and it just goes like that. Music goes in that genre. Or it goes in that genre leap. It goes in that sort of cyclical thing.
You could argue that with several other things too.
So that's just great point. That's just human nature in general. But so what you have left with are the pioneers that started it tend to carry that flag. They tend to continue to wave that flag, and then a handful of other bands that kind of push their way through it on to the next level and overcome that. But then one thing that I think I'm starting to realize with a band like this there are some bands that are getting lumped in that whole back end of it, the whole negative side of it, that are actually, even though I can't stand music like this right now, like who's that band that does the ho, hey, or I don't remember what they're called.
Hey ho, let's go.
No, that's the Ramones. No, there's
all you gave me was
you're right.
One third of a Santa Claus impression. 1/3. Oh.
Okay, I didn't make myself clear enough. What is that band called?
Well, give me more.
The Lumineers. Okay, yeah. See, you're making my point, but I'm also making my point. I can't stand bands like that.
I can't stand the root of it either. Like to your Nirvana example, like I didn't like Nirvana and anything that stemmed from it. Yeah, same with Mumford and Sons, Lumineers.
Okay.
Pat or Rob Phil Phillips or Philip.
Yeah. Okay. You're so making my point. You are so making my point. Stop talking.
No.
Stop making noises.
I'm doing my Pharrell. You had your little moment with Pharrell and Jay-Z. I'm having mine now.
Okay,
go on.
Let me have my moment. I'm explaining. you are this is amazing. This is amazing. You're
welcome.
Literally framing my example as I'm explaining it. So, but the point to this whole long thing that I'm trying to explain, because I keep getting interrupted by Michael being a Neanderthal and grunting into the microphone.
I'm going to interrupt there again.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. So you have these bands, and then you have the tail end where people are being negative towards them. Well, maybe they're actually decent bands. Maybe they're actually decent musicians and stuff like that. Maybe just because everybody hates what they're doing doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad band. So I'm just going to go straight in. Does that make sense?
Awesome. No, it makes sense. I get what you're saying, but that one sentence just was like, it made no sense of just because everybody hates them doesn't mean they're not good.
Okay, if there's
But yeah,
500,
I get your point though.
yeah, if there's 500 people doing the exact same thing and we don't like them because they're doing the exact same thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that at least one of them isn't good at what they're doing. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's what the point I'm trying to make. So
Yeah.
in terms of this band, I'm going to do my review now, if I can get through it's split up into two halves pretty much. Like I said before, there's the pop rock side of it and there's this folk rock side of it. This band, they're writing, they're great songwriters. I think if they did indeed write their songs, I'm not quite sure who wrote them, but if they wrote them, they're great songwriters. The vocalist is incredible. He's got an incredible voice, and it's not super folky voice. It's actually much bigger than that. And you see that in these songs, like, I mean, I'm talking like anthemic songs, like songs that could be sang in an arena. The song like High Hopes, it comes in, it's just like, 'cause I got high hopes. And it's just like super big. I mean, super big vocals. The song All Comes Down. Oh, I love that song. Oh, it's so good. It's like really, really, really freaking epic. It comes in with these crazy choir vocals in it, and it's just so big. Oh, it's just really, really big. The opening song.
That's what she said.
It's got really pop. It's got this great pop hook to it. And then, so yeah, there's some good tracks on here that you could fly the flag super high as them being actual good songs. But then you have all these folk rock songs. And I don't understand and I don't get why they're doing the folk rock aspect of it. I think they do it really well. I think they're well-written folk songs. They're catchy. They're catchy songs. But it does confuse me. The actual genuineness of it kind of confuses me. I don't know if I like it. But at the end of the day, I can talk as much as I want to about the technicalities of music, the honesty of music, if it's, whatever, just to build up the fact of why I like something. But at the end of the day, as people that like music, as you and as me, as myself, the number one question that we have to ask ourselves about music, do I like the song or not? Bottom line. Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
Fair enough.
I mean, I can talk about Vivaldi all day about how technical he is as a musician. Composer or whatever he was. I don't even know what the fuck he was.
Maybe both. Perhaps both.
But I don't like it. I personally don't care for it. This could be garbage truck trash nonsense, but at the end of the day, it sounds pretty good and I like it and it's catchy to me. Sue me. But one thing I will say,
you're being very defensive about this. It must have got slammed.
It is. It's slammed. I'm looking here on its aggregate reviews on Wikipedia, and there's 2 3-star reviews, a 2-star, a 1.5, a 1, and 2 2s. And I think that's kind of crazy because here's my whole thing.
Well, you know what? Those are just people that are allowed. They're just smart enough to log into the internet. That's it.
I mean, no, these are actual like news sources, like The Observer, The Guardian, The Independent, Q Magazine. They're just like various news publications. But that's. Here's my thing. I would love to go back and see what these news sources said about bands like Coldplay, said about bands like The Fray and One Republic. If they say the same thing about them, then I'm fine with that. And if they don't, then they really need to look at themselves, because I don't see what this band is doing that's different, good or bad, from those bands that I just named. I mean, I just don't. I don't see what aspect of their music. Is it because they're doing something that's similar? Well, who cares? Like, you want to know how many bands like rip off other bands? Like, it's just how music is. It's
well, I mean, the Guardian is an English news source, and Coldplay is an English band. I mean, there's that rivalry with Ireland and the UK. So
no, you're missing my point. The Irish Times gave them a 2-star review.
Oh, wow.
out of 5. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, that doesn't really have as much weight. It's just like, I just feel like people like to, as just as much as art gets on bandwagons of other art.
Yeah.
I think this whole idea of music reviews gets on bandwagon of other music reviews. It's just important to me, and I'm glad that people know that I'm not just like agreeing with what the masses are saying. I like this record. I think it's a good. Is it the greatest record ever? No. Is it? Am I going to put it on a top list of records? No, absolutely not. But I think it's good. I like listening to it. I enjoy listening to it. And I think bottom line, and this is the same thing with Issues. They're not the greatest metal band in the world, but I like listening to it. So, I didn't really say a ton about the actual record. I feel like I just spent the whole time.
Okay, fine.
Talking. I feel like I spent the whole time talking about the idea of other stuff, but I give this record a good solid B-. I mean, it's a catchy record. If you like those type of bands that I've talked about, go listen to it, man. I mean, if you like singer-songwritery stuff, it's a good record for that fact. It's a forgettable record. I mean, there's like
okay, Irish Times.
You could listen to this record for, I'd say, a good 6 to 8 months. Stop listening to it, and if somebody mentioned Kodaline 2 years from now, you probably wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, I used to listen to that band." You'd probably be like, "Never heard of them." I don't know, but I'm just speaking from the heart. I do like listening to it. I listen to it a lot at work and stuff like that. I think it's a catchy record. So, yeah, Miguel, what did you think of this?
Well, piss off with all that negative bullshit. I like this. I like this a lot, dude.
Good.
Like, honestly, if I had to go back and give the Issues album another review, I would give them a lower review. I put this band closer to Bon Iver than I do Issues.
Wow.
Like, I don't know, man. This isn't my genre. But I dig, first of all, this guy's voice, and
he has an incredible voice.
It's amazing.
I don't know how people have missed his voice. It's phenomenal.
It's great. I love Bon Iver's album. I put this band with Bon Iver. I mean,
True.
I don't know. I mean, like, they're not right up there with Bon Iver, but here's what I do.
But for different reasons, I'm sure, right? Like,
right.
I mean, their album isn't a movement, right? Album is a movement.
Yeah, like, here I have a song list. With Bon Iver, I'm not like Bon Iver, I'm contemplating what is a song and what is life in general. So, but I'm saying that they're more in that category of, like, everybody's all like, oh yeah, because I wouldn't compare this band to Coldplay. You will be interesting to hear my notes because I do make some connections to some other bands.
Okay. Yeah.
So what I did with this is I just listened to the whole album, and normally I take notes about a song no matter what. But like this one, I was just like, you know what? I'm not really going to make notes until something noteworthy comes up. So for me, the second song, All I Want. I wrote Chill Song, and I wrote Heartbreaking. Very personal about his breakup.
A little melodramatic.
But I mean, the music just makes it so sad. You're just like, oh my God, I just want to shove that gun shaft in my mouth and just no, not that. That shouldn't joke about that. I shouldn't bring it up. But
oh wow, let me.
Sorry, I was out of my head for that. Wait, whoops, sorry.
You know, when you've offended Jay Williams, you might have stepped a little too far.
I can't let people know these inner thoughts within my head. They're like, "Oh, he's such a nasty young man."
Yeah. Well, look at it on another podcast when it's analyzing the brain of Michael Gilkison.
Our therapy session.
Yeah. But no, I was gonna say this song. I feel like there's a new genre of song type, and I want to call it Grey's Anatomy. The music is called Grey's Anatomy.
Why?
There are some songs that are written specifically. Okay, there's a lot of shows, modern television shows, that have these kind of montage scenes at the end where it's like a pan. It's okay. This is exactly how the shot always is.
Oh, when they wrap all the stories up and they're playing that music, and it's like, oh,
Yes, so it'll like there's like an event like, oh, a guy with a mad father whose son just died breaks into the hospital and shoots the teacher shoots the doctor, and she's laying there and there's like three people crying over her body. So like what happens is the camera closes in on this crying scene, and then the camera starts to move to the right. It starts to pan to the right. And then every time it passes like an object and that blackness, it's a transition to somebody else like sitting there like shooting heroin, or like it passes to the next one. Like it's like a dad and his kid like high five, and then the next one it's like a cat stuck in a tree. But the whole time, this song, All I Want, the second song on the track, and songs like it that are related to it are playing in the background. It said, all I want is nothing more. And it's just like, it's songs like that. They were written specifically for those montage scenes.
Because I was just like, I was doing my thing. I'm like, okay, I'm chill. And then that song came on. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is depressing.
Yeah.
I was just like,
and then
fuck.
While you were realizing that, the camera panned in the next room and somebody was doing coke in the bathroom. So.
That would make them happier, so I've heard. Maybe not.
Okay, continue. Yeah.
Then we don't want to do drugs in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Heroin is much more like, somebody Philip Seymour Hoffman themselves, and that's much more depressing.
Michael.
This is.
Here's the thing. Okay,
you're usually the one that crosses these lines.
And I'm familiar with that. I'm more familiar with that. Like.
Familiar with what? Heroin or crossing lines?
I'm a habitual line stepper, so I'm more familiar.
Back, you're just like, don't do it, don't say.
I'm really familiar with where to go with this. With you, I feel you're like, well, I'm gonna try to step my toes in the water or dip my toes in the water, but then you just fucking fall completely. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna make a dead guy reference. Like, dude, come on, man.
Well, he's not gonna care.
Okay, that's enough. Just continue on with your review.
No. I'm just saying that heroin is a very dark thing, just
yes,
like the song. The next one, High Hopes. That's my favorite song on the record, dude.
Oh, I love it. That's the song. That's the song that turned me on to this band.
I wrote my notes.
Love.
Love.
I just see Bono type feel or Boner type feel, one of the two.
I mean, some people love those too.
Yeah.
No, I wrote High Hopes. Love this song. I wrote like, look up these lyrics. Amazing vocals. Oh my god.
So catchy. Such a catchy song.
Such a good song. Brand New Day. I wrote Bono type feel. There's something about the way that his voice carries that is very much like Bono.
I think a lot of these are
because they're both Irish. So
I think a lot of these songs are very heavily early U2 feel to them, like early Sunday Bloody Sunday type of stuff. Just very big songs, like anthem rock songs. We're like,
yeah, it's nothing like, and there's nothing special about it. It's just like if you play the drum
just good
track,
songs. They're just good.
Like the drums, like on the drums with like a U2 song, but you put everything together and it's like synergy. It's like Sunday, Bloody Sunday. And it's just, I don't get why people slam this so hard because I loved it, honestly. Yeah. I feel like you were being very defensive, and evidently it just shocks me that, because like Bon Iver, that they won like a Grammy for Song of the Year, and I would compare this. It's the same caliber of music. So next one, All Comes Down. My note there. I mean, Jay, I wrote right here, love the choir singing.
It's incredible.
It just comes in out of nowhere. You don't expect it. You're just like, yeah, sure.
Oh, when it comes in, it drops. Well, so the band's playing, and for people who haven't heard the song, it's amazing. The band's playing, and it's like kind of repetitious, and the whole band's playing. And it's like, all comes down to, and all of a sudden the music drops out, and the choir comes in. All comes down to, and they break back into it, and you're like, you're saved. I mean, Jesus has saved your soul right there. Like the choir comes in, and you're like, all right, this is cool. Did I just get baptized? Like, what just happened?
I just get baptized in the Irish spirit.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Wasn't funny.
Oh, no, wait, that's soap. It's Irish Spring.
Irish Spring. The next thing that I had was Talk. Love the song Talk. Here's what really stuck out for me with the song Talk was the line, all of the things that were said were in my heart, not my head.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Think on it. Think about it. I mean, I was just like, that's cool. Oh, and he says something else like, you are a moment in life that comes and goes. It's crazy just to like say that to a person. I mean, it's like in a nice way saying that you're dead. Like Eminem would just be like, fucking die, bitch. But here, they're just like, they have to say it in their little sensitive way. Like, you're a moment in life that comes and goes.
Yeah.
Nice when you were here, but now you're gone. So,
you're the church lady? Dana Carvey right now?
Isn't that special?
Yes, that's the
yeah.
reference.
But no, I did like that. I mean, the lyrics in that song "Talk" was, pretty. I liked it. You kind of made a good point when you said like this is a good album. It's fun to listen to, but it's very forgettable. Because like as I made these notes, and we did talk about how like Jay's before this, me and Jay have different styles about listening to albums. And Jay's like, Michael, you've got to listen to an album more than one time. And I'm just like, if the album pulls me to listen to it more than once, I will. But if not, then, that's part of my analysis for a grade. And with that said, the reason I went on that tangent was because my note for the song Pray, the only thing I wrote for that was cool drums.
True.
I was like, yeah, it's cool drums. Like, shit,
yeah.
Do we really need to get more deeper into this? So, there's a question. Way back when,
yeah,
they use a guitar, and I think it's a ukulele.
It's a mandolin.
A mandolin? What the hell
mandolin.
is that? Oh, mandolin. Okay, I knew it was some kind of tiny guitar.
Yeah,
that was cool. I liked it. The Answer. Oh, okay. This is interesting. You like
The
it?
Answer. I don't even know what that song is. It might be a deluxe song. I'm sorry. Continue.
Okay.
You're big on these, like, listening to these songs that aren't actually on the album.
Damn it, YouTube. No, opening sounds like Hey Delilah. Like Reliant K. Like
I've never heard this song, and that's not Reliant K.
Who sings that song?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a shitty band, and I don't like them, though.
Yeah,
but here's what I wrote. With that said, that it's a shitty band, and I don't like them. Opening sounds like Hey Delilah, but it gets better. Great dynamic contrast. Oh, it's so musical here. And this is something, Jay, that I think you were touching on with people's criticism of they're just like, oh, well, they sound – okay. Dynamic contrast. In classical music or in any kind of music, dynamic contrast, dynamic tension, and resolution. How do you make something more powerful? How do you make something super powerful that you want to build up? Bring it down.
Decrescendo.
Drop it down really low. You drop it down low, and then you keep it low. And then you hit them with the high. That's how you do it. They use dynamic contrast here. That's what makes them a musical band. So very, very tasteful musicality is that dynamic contrast. Crescendo and decrescendo. Okay? Start low, bring it up, bring it down. Not everybody can play loud, but if you start like way soft, then boom, it just kills it. And it was mixed very well too. Perfect World. I wrote that it was Beatles-like. It reminded me like of some early Beatles stuff. I loved it. I love the walking bass line. Walking bass line was great. The next one, the last song. I thought the last song was wonderful, actually. Song. Yeah, I said, wow, what a sad ballad intro. It's like, oh, gosh. Well, this is sad. This is depressing. And then a snare drum comes in, and I'm just like, whoa, are they going to pick it up a little bit? I feel like they're going to pick it up and just – if it was Bon Iver, then they would have, like, slammed on the gas and went harder with, like – because it just started out like, tuh, 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 tuh. just underneath a soft little thing. If it was Bon Iver, they would have went crazy. They would have went off some side roads, some mountains, up, down, through a tunnel that led to the Bat Cave, up, back around, through Ireland, down the Pacific Ocean, through the Indian Ocean, winding through, and then back to where you started. And then you're like, oh, whoa, I forgot I even started here. But this was cool. They dropped it back. So, like, I was expecting them to pick it up, but they just dropped it back to where it came from. So it's an example of a tasteful use of the drums and how you place sounds within a movement of a song. Yeah. Overall, man, I love this. I enjoyed listening to this. I can't say the same for Issues. I can't say the same for some other ones that I've repressed, but hey, I'm gonna give this a solid B. I mean, this is one I'd go back and listen to, man. Cool. I like them a lot. I dug them. Thank you so much.
So what about your staunch stance against those folk type of bands and stuff? Well, see, here's my thing. No, I'm not trying to make you second guess your grade. I think it's actually really cool that you had such a strong stance, but there are those songs on this album, and that's why I was really anxious to hear your opinion on it, because you came into reviewing.
That's right, I'm in it. Sorry,
with no like really foregone conclusion about this band. So
yeah, I mean, I knew nothing about this band, and I just went in with no preconceived notions, like you implied.
But you do know that, like, you're aware. You picked up on the fact that they have some folk type of songs in there, like Way Back When with the mandolin and stuff like that. And
I mean,
Love Like This. I don't know if you heard that song. There's like a harmonica in it, stuff like that.
It's not quite. I'll say this: it's folksy, but it's not quite bluegrass, and that's what Mumford and shit tries to do. Is they try to be all like, oh, we're going to be bluegrass, but then we're going to be like John Mayer too. And we're going to, I don't know, not quite like John Mayer, but I hate I hate their music. I don't hate them.
This is going to be, dude, going to be like when you hated Kanye.
Mumford and Sons, I just can't. I just can't do it. I just can't. Come around, let it be clear. It's just like Scott Stapp.
What were you saying? It sounded like you were singing fucking like Pearl Jam or something like that.
Yeah, okay. It sounds like Eddie, or the lead singer. Who is the lead singer of Pearl Jam? Eddie
Vedder.
Sounds like Eddie Vedder and Scott Stapp had a child that they were too ashamed of, and then they were like, okay, we're going to put them with a bluegrass band and make it popular.
Misguided. I can't believe what you're saying right now.
I'm sorry. I cannot stand Mumford and Sons. I'm going to be straight up about it. I don't like Mumford and Sons.
He also hated Kanye West.
It's
true, isn't it? Say it's true.
I did back in 2005. I did. That's true. That is true. But I mean, I like 2 Chainz. I like 2 Chainz better than Mumford and Sons.
For people not watching this, and it doesn't matter because Michael was talking, he was on camera. I had this big smile on my face because he admitted that he hated Kanye, and then when he said he liked 2 Chainz, the smile just went away.
I wish they could have seen what I had seen.
Like a sad kid that opened his last present, and it was socks.
What a great analogy.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't listened to Mumford and Sons' entire album. It's more, why am I justifying myself? I don't. I think their music is shit.
Okay. Sure.
Actually, yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, because it evokes a negative response for me.
Fair. Because of the time in your life? Is that true? You just say yes or no. You don't have to elaborate. Just say yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I get that. All right. So next week for Michael's,
for the Galaxy. Yeah. What are we gonna pick it? What are you picking?
You kind of already know what I'm picking. So.
Oh no, you are not doing this to me.
I am. The album isn't even out yet. It's not out yet. It actually comes out a week from today. I'm going to have you.
Is it coming out of the closet?
Maybe. I mean,
Perhaps?
maybe right now a box of albums are sitting in a closet somewhere, and it will come out of that closet on the shelves.
I am in the Bay Area. We encourage that. We encourage coming out.
Hang on a second. I do need to look up what the album's actually called, but I'm going to have you listen to Sohn's new album, Sohn, and that is called, what the fuck is that called?
Oh, I'm listening to Sohn's. What the is that called?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't prepared for this.
That's okay, dude.
The album's not out yet, and
Jay is going to Chicago this week, and we all get in that mode of where we're like, you know what? I just need to get away, freaking go on vacation, get away from this grind. You know, we've all been there. We've all been there. I don't know what I'm talking about even. I'm glad that you get to go to Chicago. That's gonna be a fun trip.
Yeah. Okay, so I found it now. The album is called Tremors.
Like the Kevin Bacon movie.
Kevin Bacon movie about the worms.
Like the worm snakes.
On the ground.
How the hell? You know how they're like we're on the roof.
Yeah.
That's like crazy. As being like a screenwriter now, you write like, excuse me. Did I burp really loud in that microphone?
I didn't hear it, but okay, now you just told everybody.
No, I just told everybody. I didn't. It was my hand hitting the microphone. But yeah, like Tremors, interior, exterior. Like when you write a scene, it's either inside or outside. It's just funny now to be like exterior on top of the roof of the house, and to have like a dialogue. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Right. Well, yeah.
Sohn's Tremors. Yes, Jay.
Sohn's Tremors. I'm really excited about this album. Got to check out some of his singles that he put out, like Blood Flows. There's a song called Oscillate. Yeah, a song called Oscillate, a song called Artifice, Lessons. It's just really, really good. Great synth-driven kind of singer-songwriter dude. So, yeah, looking forward to it, man.
Well, cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm still going to have to rise to the challenge and try and pick you another rap artist, an up-and-coming rap artist that's like Kendrick Lamar, but we'll see how I do. We'll see what you think of Macklemore as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's late here.
Yeah, time zone difference. Yeah. But, hey, is there anything else you want to add, Jay? Anything else that
No,
this podcast was off the rails a little bit, and I liked it. I'm not going to lie.
It was, yeah. We're kind of winging it a little bit more, but no, I don't have anything else. Just everybody, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for tuning in. As always, make sure you download on iTunes or subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys aren't on iTunes and you have like Android or something else like that, we're actually on Podbean. It's in the Galaxy Podcast.podbean.com or something like that. But you can follow. I'm sorry.
Can people with Android phones, can they download that podcast app to listen to podcasts?
No, it's just on iTunes for podcast for the actual podcast app. But if you do have Android, you can download it, or you can download it off of our Podbean site or stream it. If you guys want to follow Michael on Facebook or me on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, just let us know. We're going to get our shit together in terms of like website and stuff. We have a website and all that stuff. But we kind of need to get everything kind of organized and whatnot. And if you missed it on our previous episode this week, if you want to email us ever, tell us how bad we suck or how awesome we are.
Exactly.
Or you want to suggest maybe an album that we review, you can do that by checking out in the Galaxy Podcast at gmail.com. Oh, and one other thing.
As well as GilkyWayGalaxy.com contact.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I forgot to mention, next week, if all things go planned, we will be having our first ever guest. My
Yes.
buddy
Yes.
Ryan Snelling, who's actually written a movie and trying to crowdfund it to produce it. So, yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah, and
And
Ryan's a fellow screenwriter as well. That's kind of my other gig as well, and we've kind of chatted a little bit about that. And Jay also did the graphic design artwork for one of his album covers. So
when he
not
was in a
only
band.
when he was in a band, so not only is he a musician, but he's also a screenwriter who's funding his own movie. So we encourage the arts here, Gilky Way Galaxy. That's one of the reasons why I started this whole thing up was, eventually I want to get a screenplay together that I make into a movie. So it's cool to actually have somebody on the show that's going to actually talk about a project that they're doing. So I'm looking forward to it, Jay.
Cool, man. All right. Well, thank you, Michael.
And thank you, Jay. This podcast was off the rails. I had a lot of fun.
Cool, man. Me too.
All right, dude. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll catch you next time in the galaxy. Peace.